Welcome, everyone. My name is Erica, and as always, I'm joined with Liana, who is the Executive Director of the Nonprofit Center. In this segment, we want to talk to you about fundraising. And our goal is that by the end of this segment, we've given you so many creative ideas and tips that you actually think of fundraising as fundraising. So Liana, can you talk a little bit about this one angle of fundraising that we know as friend raising? How does that work, and how does that help unpack how fundraising can happen?
So, as it turns out, board members rarely have to ask someone directly for money. It's more about bringing people into the fold, introducing people that you know in your networks to your nonprofit and to the mission. And eventually, those connections lead to donations. When we say friend raising, we're talking about things like have a house party and invite 10 people over for a barbecue, and invite the executive director of your nonprofit to tell those folks a little bit about the mission. Chances are those folks are going to walk away, and one of them's going to want to volunteer or make a donation next time they get something in the mail. So fundraising is really about advocacy and being an ambassador for your organization.
Right, helping to get the word out and tell the story. People love stories, and if you can create an environment where people can tell the story of the organization, that enables more people to get on board.
That's right.
So asking for money can sometimes feel intimidating, and that's why we want to talk about this in terms of fundraising and friend raising. But really, it comes down to it that people do actually want to give money. There's this famous quote by Claire Axelrod that says, "You aren't asking people to give you money for personal use. No, you're offering them the opportunity to make an impact that aligns, hopefully, with their values. Giving them such an opportunity to find greater meaning and purpose in their life is, in truth, priceless." So this is all about giving people the opportunity to give. And we've brought back some of our board members to give a list of many reasons that people may choose to give. And if you listen to this list of reasons, you might find some reasons that you yourself may choose to give, or reasons that you could use to invite others to give to your cause.
I've given for a variety of reasons. Most recently, I had a friend who actually did a fundraiser for a family and her children to support the children going to school. It was something that was really heartfelt to me, and I cared about the person that was seeking to raise money for that cause.
I got involved in giving early as a child because it's something that my parents did. I see that as a responsibility as an adult. I'm very happy to say so does my daughter and son-in-law, and now my grandchildren.
I do it to support organizations that I personally am passionate about, and overall I give because I feel I'm financially fortunate enough to pay it forward to other organizations and nonprofits that, really have something that I want to stand behind and get behind and pay it forward to the next generations.
One of the most impactful experiences I've ever had was actually not in so much in giving money, but actually being a contributor on a project in Guanaja, Honduras. We helped rebuild a school that was destroyed by a hurricane. And that was an incredible experience for me in being able to participate in really helping a community.
I give to the independent girls' school that I went to because I'm very passionate about I now know how it shaped my growth and understanding of what it means to be a citizen. The definition of philanthropy, there are lots of definitions. The definition that I believe in is voluntary action for the public good. It means you give of yourself and you give of your resources.
So we promised you that we were going to put a little bit of fun into this fundraising video. And for this next segment, we want to talk to you about a really fun approach to fundraising. What's more fun than going out to a luxurious meal that has multiple courses? Well, consultant Andy Robinson has come up with what he calls a menu of opportunities for fundraising. And Liana, let's break down how this menu works and what it has to do with food.
It's such a fun way to look at fundraising because it shows board members that they can totally do this. So under appetizers, for example, you can write a testimonial for your organization, just a little blurb about why you support that organization, and then they can put that in their newsletter. That is worth so much to the organization, and it takes maybe 15 minutes to do. So
It's like a bite size.
It's
like
a bite-sized
bite-sized piece of fundraising.
Exactly. For entrees, Andy writes, one of the opportunities is to make thank you calls to donors. Donors love thank you calls, and it will make you feel warm and fuzzy and them feel warm and fuzzy, and they'll probably give more next time. But maybe you're not a people person and you might like to write a thank you note instead. Either way, that's something that you can do that increases donations for your organization.
Now, what about dessert?
Dessert. Invite a friend to attend an event. Everyone can do that. So let's say your organization is having a big gala or a smaller cultivation event or maybe some kind of fun event like a 5K run. Invite your friends to tag along with you and learn more about the organization. That is easy for every board member to do.
Now, what I noticed was nowhere on that menu, the appetizer, the entree, or the dessert, did you say ask for money.
Exactly.
So these are really things that are very accessible that you can do that are part of the fundraising effort.
And like I said, board members are rarely asked to ask anyone directly for money. It's more about bringing people in, sharing the story of your organization with your network.
And like any good menu, on our portal, we have more options for appetizers, more options for entrees, and more options for dessert that Andy has provided in one of the sheets on the portal. So we've really talked about this fundraising as also friendraising. And there's a consultant, Joan Gary, who has a body of work called Raising Your Army of the Engaged. And this is the same idea. The more that we can raise our engagement around us, the friendraising, the more we can contribute to fundraising. So Liana, will you tell us a little bit about Joan's strategy for fundraising through the Army of the Engaged?
So Joan Gary is a really funny consultant in the fundraising and nonprofit world. And she's got an actual worksheet where you can list people in your orbits. So these could be people that you go to church with, or someone who was at your Thanksgiving last year, or maybe people you met at the gym. What's great is she gives you prompts, and you end up with a list of 30 to 50 people that you can then invite to share the story of the organization that you are volunteering for.
So we've talked about how fundraising and friendraising go hand in hand. We've talked about that there's a lot more to this fundraising thing than just asking for money. But we also know that if an organization doesn't have money, it can't further its mission. So this is important stuff. So we hope you've taken away some new tips for today of how you can make fundraising something fun and accessible, and that you can look deeper into the orbits that you're a part of to find others who are as passionate about the cause as you might be, because everyone wants an opportunity to make a meaningful contribution in the world.